Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy T Magic with those Fantasy Fools, back once again with the Play Now Online tips. Today we're actually going tier 2. We're going to be using the Milwaukee Bucks against the Washington Wizards. So let's get this thing going, man. With the Bucks, Giannis is obviously your best player. Both in the half court and the full court, you should be giving him the ball and running your offense through him. I find that when playing as somebody like a freakish athlete and a slasher like Giannis or like LeBron or Westbrook, and these superstar type players, the player you go against is super focused on him. And you end up getting a lot of easy shots with that main guy. Like right here, you're gonna see me trying to attack a little bit with Giannis, and they're worried about the drive, which gets an open shot for Snell. And you're gonna see me doing a lot of that in this game, where I'm just using Giannis as a distributor more than a scorer. In the beginning of games, I'm always trying to pay attention to what my opponent is doing on offense, so that I can take that away from him. So like on that play, he just ran the basic play we've all seen, where they're trying to set the screen on the three-point shooter to get the shot off. And I'm going to be trying to take that away from him for the entire rest of the game. And I think I did a pretty good job for the most part. I mean, you're going to run into a few mistakes here and there, but if you're able to consistently play it well, like right there, I cut him off and made him go the other way away from the screen, but this time I ended up getting caught behind Howard, and he gets the open three. But you're going to run into trouble every now and then. You could just only hope to limit how effective that is for the entire game. Here I'm going to pick and roll play for Antetokounmpo. And that's exactly why I like to run plays, because even though that play was called a pick and roll for Antetokounmpo off ball, he ended up coming off of a screen and got the switch on Howard. Now, if you just call a regular pick and roll play, that doesn't happen and you don't get that mismatch. But because I called a pick and roll play for Giannis, we ended up getting a good switch and we got a foul call on Howard. Here I'm just attacking a mismatch. We got Porter being guarding Lopez, and Lopez is a really effective post scorer. I think people forget that he was, maybe because he was on the Nets, but he was averaging like 20 points a game for a few number of years. As we score again with Lopez. And on this team, if you're not able to get anything going without an Antetokounmpo, just go to Lopez. Lopez is an effective scorer, and he still is. He's not that old, and he's not really built on athleticism, so his offensive abilities haven't really depreciated too much. Again, Lopez. They are not guarding him. There's no respect there, and I'm going to keep taking advantage of that. But on that play, Giannis was driving, and then that took their attention away from Lopez, who was trailing on that play, and he got a wide open three. That was a good move right there by him. Got me up off my feet. But you see, these last few plays, he's getting looks on the inside and not from the outside, and that's what you're going to see a lot of this, is me chasing them off of the line. So with right there, it's a great example. Right there, Beal, after the miss, Beal was streaking down the court on the fast break, and I just switched and immediately sprinted over there to him and take that away from him. Because a lot of times the computer is going to run to the paint, which is what you're taught to do at a young age, but with the NBA, you want to be running to the shooters and get them off the line. You don't want them taking threes in transition. So you either need to switch or stay back with the last man and get out to the shooters on the fast break, and you'll limit a lot of those transition threes that a lot of people end up having trouble with. Now you're going to see that with Middleton and Giannis and Lopez out the game. I'm going to be running my offense through Ilyasova as a screener on the pick and roll game, and that's because that's where I feel like we can be most effective on offense, and they don't really have anybody that should disrupt that on defense. As we see right there, we get a layup on the confusion when he sets the screen, and then the play before that, they collapsed on him after he was diving, and that left a corner three wide open. Here you see that example of cutting off the screen. So I saw the screen was coming, so I got out in front of him so he couldn't use it. And that's what you should be doing. You want to beat the offensive player to the screen, and that'll lead to a lot of open shots that you're taking away from them. And you're going to have to force him to go away from the screen a lot of the times too. Right there, we forced him away from the screen, and he ended up trying to force the baseline, and he ended up going out of bounds, and we got the turnover.
2 minutes now played in the second quarter.
Again, Ilyasova off the screen and roll. They collapsed on him, leaving Connaughton wide open from three. That was bad defense on his part because he didn't run out there to the shooter. He didn't take his place because he was helping on the pick and roll play. Like right here, we ran almost the same offense, except I ran out to that corner shooter, and he did not on that last play.
Shot clock at 6.
And a lot of what good defense is preventing guys from taking shots. So his three-point percentage, I think, was decent, but he didn't end up shooting a lot of them. And you see this guy playing zone, which leads to easy three. That's why zone doesn't work in the NBA. And that was terrible defense by the computer. He didn't pick up wall at all, and he just got an easy rhythm jumper right there. Anybody can make that. But if you could take away the three-point shot, that's just as good as them missing the three-point shot, if that makes sense. So a lot of the times what I'm trying to do is run them off of the three-point line, take away the three-pointer. Right there, Snell was late. I didn't have him in the transition, and you see that Snell foot was basically in the paint when Wall made that pass. The play before that, I sprinted out to Jody Meeks with Snell or Bledsoe, and I was able to contest the shot, and he didn't even take the shot. He ended up passing it off. And that's what I'm talking about as far as preventing them from getting a shot is just as good as them missing it. You're going to see a good example of why you try your best to avoid turnovers as much as possible. It leads to way too many easy buckets in transition, especially with an athletic team like the Wizards. So you want to always protect the ball. And right there, I should have called timeout, but I was just being kind of stubborn and thinking I could play through it. And you see, look, we get a miss on a pretty easy shot for Lopez after he's been scoring really well in the first half. And then we're going to see what ends up happening on this side of the floor. Because timeouts are important, man, and this is exactly why. That's four points in a row, and I've been missing easy shots, and now they have the lead. So always call timeout. Utilize those inbound plays too. I feel like they run the same inbound plays like 90% of the time, but as far as I can tell, people that play against don't really know how to defend them. That shot is there almost every time. And I don't know what happened. Bledsoe, I guess, didn't get a good contest. He's actually doing a pretty good job of using Wall and where he's effective. That was the only three he ended up taking with Wall that game. What was that one you saw earlier? The rest of them have all his points have been inside. This is an example of both good and bad defense. It's good because in transition, I sprinted out to Beal, who was running to the three-point line, and that took away that look. But it was bad. I don't know if you want to call it bad, because the computer ended up getting caught trying to get back to Dwight, and they were late and out of position, which led to that easy shot right there. But they didn't get the three-point look, which is what I was trying to take away initially. This play was called for Ilyasova to set the screen. But again, play calling, you have other actions that happen before the play finishes. So there, Brogdon gets a double screen before he gets the screen from Ilyasova. But because it was so open, off of the double screen, you end up getting an open look, and that's the one we want to take. We always try to take good shots. We're all over Bill now on defense. I believe I went into settings and I set him to deny and tight defense. Only because Beal's actually a decent finisher at the rim and decent at driving to the rim. So I don't want to put it on Smother. Smother I would say for somebody like JJ Redick or Kyle Korver, somebody you're really not worried about finishing at the rim. You're not worried about them driving by you. So with Bill, we just keep it to tight so that we could still defend the drive a little bit, but we're really focused on taking away the three-pointer. That was a bad steal attempt by him that led to an easy dunk for Divinchenko. But also, I'm pretty sure I set the pick plays to go over. So right here, I'm sprinting through the screens. What you want to do on those is, instead of holding the L2 button to try to get around the screen, you want to let go. At least that's what I do. I let go of the L2 button and I immediately sprint. As you saw right there, I sprinted through the screen and was able to get around it, taking away that first look he had. The second one, I ended up getting caught up. I assumed he was going to drive. I bid on it a little bit because there was so much space on that side of the court that I wanted to take that away, and ended up getting an open three that second time around. But more times than not this game, I've been cutting him off from getting around the screen initially and forcing him the other way, which has worked the entire game. Now he's out of the rhythm completely. If you think back to earlier, he hit 2 threes in the very beginning of the game, and since then Beal hasn't hit anything. That pass was not supposed to go to him. And good, we're there on transition. Everybody got back. And I believe this is just a theory that if you get back on defense, your computer teammates pick up their man better. Look at this, Beal is just all out of rhythm right now, but which is why I'm a proponent of just getting back as quickly as you can on defense with whoever you're controlling at the time, because everybody will pick up man faster. On fast breaks, you don't always have to get a layup. See right there, I kind of forced something at the rim. I thought I had the step. I thought he was going to go up stronger than that. And you see a bad shot right there led to an easy shot for him on the other end. And that's why you always want to be looking for the best shot possible. Always. Bad shots leads to easy shots on the other side of the rim. Going to, actually, this was for Bledsoe. And Lopez with the ugliest of finishes right there. Oh my God. But it's okay, we're back. And right now our focus is primarily on Beal. He's their scorer. And he's not really utilizing anybody else outside of him. Again, here we go, a pick and roll, and the defense is set so that he has to go away from the pick and roll. And right there, that happened earlier too. Forced him away from the screen. He ended up dribbling out of bounds. That's the second time we've caused a turnover by playing the screen correctly. There's a good shot from Middleton. Middleton is knocked down from mid-range. So if you get any type of space from Middleton from the mid-range, I believe he was the best or top 2 or 3 mid-range shooters in the league last year. So you get any space from Middleton in the mid-range, you want to take that shot. For some reason, I think I was trying to take away Wall with Giannis, but instead of switching like one player down, they put Bledsoe on Markieff Morris, which was terrible. So I ended up switching that back with that timeout. Always use your timeouts. And you see coming out of that timeout, we get an open shot from 3 with Lopez.
And that's how you do it. Well done.
They send a screen. I'm beating him around the screen. Again, try to beat your man to the screen, and you'll be saving yourself a lot of grief. And he doesn't really have any other offense, you see. Like, again, I'm sprinting around the screen. I'm not holding L2. I'm holding R2 down and sprinting through the screen or around the screen, however you want to think of it as, so that that tool is taken away from him, and he has to figure out another way to either utilize the screen game, or he's going to have to use some other type of play call to get open looks for himself. And going back to earlier, I put Giannis on Markieff now, so that advantage is being taken away, and he's going to have to go somewhere else with the ball. Good contest by Lopez there. and he went for the steal again. Bad decision making on his part. Let me get an easy dunk from Giannis in transition. I believe that's Giannis' second shot this game, because like I was telling you earlier, I was just looking to make him a distributor, almost a distraction. There I can only assume that I thought Giannis was going to cover that, and he didn't end up switching, and Wall gets the easy layup on that side. There you go again, play calling. I didn't call Giannis to post up. I just called smart play, and they decided to give Giannis a post-up opportunity. And on that post-up opportunity, the rest of the floor cleared out before Giannis even got the ball. If you call isolation with Giannis with the ball in his hand, he ends up starting way outside on the perimeter. But with the play calling, he ends up posting up. The rest of the floor goes the opposite side of the court, and we end up getting an isolation one-on-one with Giannis being guarded by Markieff Morris, which is a matchup you can take advantage of. There, that was just a lazy passing by me. And he ends up scoring. Always be careful with your passes. Utilize the bounce pass when you can. It'll save you a lot of turnovers. And make your free throws, man. I don't really use the Bucks like that, but I'm going to take my time and bury both free throws, luckily, putting us up 3. It's the last possession for them. We're up 3, so I know they're trying to get that three-point shot. He gives it to Beal immediately, their best shooter. But again, I'm going over the top of that screen. I'm beating him around the screen to take that away from him. And look, he has nowhere else to go with the ball. Ends up forcing a poor shot at the end of the game, and we get the win. This has been your boy T Magic with Those Fantasy Fools. Once again, if you find this video helpful or you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe. We'll be doing more videos like this in the future. Again, we're trying to hit every team with the tips and the strategies for playing online with them. With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.